wife and I met about 27 years ago, and we both had bad previous marriages and relationships. And we, uh, and when we got together, we really weren't. I wasn't really prepared to have any long-term relationship at all, but she was. And we got together, and we had some real hard times. And then she had a weak heart, so she had a stroke about 2013. And I went with her wherever she went. I went, and she was in a coma. I was there, reading things to her, trying to show pictures to her, anything to get her out of the coma. That people told me if you read and talked to them, they would get better. So I did that for 4 weeks, I guess it was. She finally came out of the coma, but she was far from better. She couldn't read or write, either one of those two things, which she loved to do, read and was best then. She read and read and read. And we did. I went with her every rehab, everywhere she went. I went all the time. Never left her side hardly. And then she had uh, a, a little stroke, and it was not big, but it was enough for her. So she was in a wheelchair for quite a while. So I told her that, whatever she goes, she goes. And she was in the rehab for 2 years almost. And they did an excellent job on her. She's doing really, really well. She couldn't walk that well or anything, but her mind seemed to be much better. And then I had to work on the weekends, so I had this lady take care of her. And this lady loved to take her to church, and she liked church. And she went to church, and she would sing and everything like that. But one Sunday, she came out of the wheelchair and hurt her hip, and they had to put a new ball in her hip, and she wasn't doing too good. But I kept encouraging her, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And then as time went by, she finally looked like she could go home again. We went home, and she had a high blood pressure, so I called the ambulance. They come take her home, take her to the hospital. She went to the hospital, and I thought she was going to get better. I didn't think she was going to ever get worse. And they said, well, take her upstairs and put her in. And I heard it was really weird things, because her daughter had called and wanted to come visit because they just came from Hershey Park. I said, sure, but she's in the hospital. So she came and had all the grandchildren and all, which is pretty cool. And they all ran around her, and she loved that. And then we told her the next day we were going to come and take her home. Well, we walk into the door, and she's almost out of the bed, breathing apparatus on her face, and she's making these sounds. We run over there and get her in the bed, and they said she had a seizure. But she looked like she was in just a deep sleep. You couldn't get out of it. We yelled, come on, Audrey, Audrey. But she couldn't get out. Her name was Audrey. So Karen, her daughter, said, well, I'll spend the night here and hope she'll get better, and I'll come back in the morning because I work, so I'll come back in the morning. So I came back in the morning, and as I walked through the door, I looked over at my wife, and she looked fabulous. She looked great. I mean, she was almost glowing. She looked so good. I'm thinking in my head, wow, I can take her home now. So I walk over to the bed, and Karen's crying. I said, what are you crying for? I said, she looks fantastic. She said the nurses, the doctors, or whatever, said that she could have died any time last night, but she didn't die. I said, well, she looks great to me. She looked breathing great. I couldn't believe what she was telling me. So I walked over to her side, and I gave her what we used to do every morning, just about, a kiss on her forehead and a kiss on her lips. She'd pucker up, give me a kiss on her lips. So I give her the kiss on the forehead. I go to give her a kiss on the lips, and she goes just like this. She goes, and out comes this breath. It comes, I can see it. It's some kind of breath. And it came about this far and it went in a perfect circle. And inside these tan little things were going real, real fast. And it stayed there maybe a second. And I was looking right at it. It's almost like saying goodbye to me. And it went super fast. And I look over and she's gone. I told Karen, I said, Karen, she's gone. No, she's not. No, she's not. No, she's not. I was crying. I said, what I saw, I think she's gone. So they got the doctor in to come in, and he took a few minutes, and he said, "I'm sorry, she's gone." And we cried a lot and everything. And I didn't even tell Karen until about 2 days later that I had seen what I saw. I said, the reason I said she was gone because I saw something. It must have been her soul, had to be, I guess. And it came out and stayed right just close to her mouth and just went faster than lightning. I stayed there for a second. And she said, "Oh, no wonder you knew when she was gone because you couldn't tell by looking at her. She looked the same." But I knew it. And I've been grieving and getting better, but I always think about her constantly. She was a real good person, generous, too generous, and she loved animals. And if I let her, so we have every cat, dog, and everything else out there in our apartment. So she loved all animals, and she was a really good person, and that's what I think made me love her so much. So she was so good and kind, and it's hard to find people like that. That's why I made some songs about her, but basically her or any woman really that finds true love, or a couple finds true love, and they love each other greatly. And the reason I think she didn't die that night is because she must have asked God to say, "Well, you can stay." But then she's saying, "Well, what about leaving? I can't wake up, and you can do that." And what she did was what I saw. That's what I believe happened because she looked so good. I mean, she was shining almost, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, then when I went to kiss her, that totally blew me away. I backed up. I didn't what I saw, and I went, "Wow, wait, what is this?" It just totally blew me away, totally, because I'm not holy roly, just a regular guy from the street, and no different. And what I saw was it changed my life completely because I think about it almost constantly. It's fascinating to see something like that. And I've told priests and I've told other people, and they all believe me. They say, "Yeah, you saw something. It wasn't a ghost. It was more of a scientific thing, I guess you could say, seeing inside that ball uh, of breath." And it wasn't anything like a holy roly because we went to church maybe once in a while, and because I was far from that. But I did believe in God, of course. And I think she was waiting for me and had permission to wait. And when I came in, she just looked. She couldn't open her eyes or anything, but she just glowed, and she was like happy to see me. I could tell it, feel it. And she passed away very, very peaceful and very, very quiet. No pain, no nothing, which was good because she had enough pain throughout her whole life, just about injections, can't find her vein, and all this other stuff, crying and crying and crying. I had to clean her every day when she was at home. She cried, but did everything I did, just about. I just would do anything to make her comfortable, happy, anything. And she just finally went to God in a very, very, very peaceful way. And I'm glad about that because her heart was so bad, they said that it leaked and it could have blown up. And that probably would have been much, much more pain than she would ever, real lot more pain just falling asleep. So I think God was really with her because he seemed to be doing everything she wanted to do. Wait for me, because she could have died any time last night. That's what the doctors and nurses said. So thank God he let me be there and beside her when she went. Of course, I wasn't happy what happened. I was almost mad because I said, "What are you doing leaving me?" Thinking in my mind, "What do you do leaving me? Why are you leaving me?" And I know why she left me. She didn't want to leave me before because she felt how bad I'd feel, And she just made her mind up that she had to go, and that's what happened.
So, what's your wife's name?
Audrey.
Audrey. And how long were you married?
27 years.
27 years. That's great. And tell us about the song that you wrote.
I wrote this song probably before she died. It was about a year, and my sons did it with me, and it was rough. but it had the meaning of what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to write a song about her, but I knew that it'd be really hard to write a song after she died. I just wouldn't be able to do it. I'd just be crying and crying and crying. So I said, well, what I'll do is I'll make it before she dies, because I know eventually she's going to go. So we made the song. We got down to the basement. They have a small place there with guitars and stuff, and started to make the song. And it's taken 2 years, 3 years, I guess, to finally get it, I call, right, thanks to Dave. It's a pretty good song. I like it a lot.
See, what else can I ask you? So what were some of her favorite things? What did she like to do? What made her happy?
She loved animals. She loved animals. And I was working on the racetrack grooming animals. I used to be a jockey and a trainer and all that stuff. And she wanted to get into it. Now, she never had been into any horse animals, racehorses especially, but she wanted to do it. And I said, Audrey, this is not any game. These horses are high strung and ready to do anything. And she, I want to do it, I want to do it. Okay, come on. So she did it with me, and a couple of horses fell in love with her. One especially, his name was Pucker. He's a big gray horse, and he absolutely fell in love with her. And she would be waiting for the race and pat his head, and talking to him. And this guy walked by and he says, "Those horses, you're not pets." Blah blah blah. She said, "This is my pet." He was in the same race. So she won it, Pucker won it, and his horse finished last. And boy, I had a hard time keeping myself that one, you know. He went around, she said something like, "See, pets."
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. She loved them, but they were very dangerous. She got kicked once, not her fault. The guy lost control of the horse. And I thought that was the end for her, but she managed to come out of it just with a broken arm. It was kind of scary, though.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah, they are.
Anything else you could think of that you might want to add or anything?
Oh, just that she had a beautiful smile. I mean, a smile that comes from in, not the fake smile, like smile that comes from in. And the doctor, my doctor, said that he missed the most of all her smile. She had a beautiful smile.
I told her I love her, I'll stay by her side, stay by her side. I told her I love her, I'll stay by her side, stay by her side. I told her I love her, I'll stay by her side, stay by her side. I tell her I love her, I stay by her